Hi, Shalloners. We are back. Yes, we have a collaborator today. This is Max. You guys might have remembered him from a live stream I did a little while ago, and he answered y'all's questions, and I think you guys like him way more than you like me, so he's back. Because today we're going to talk about something that he might be kind of an expert in. What guys want in bed. Now, I've not really done sex-themed videos before, but I mean, it's like all I think about and all I talk about, so why not do some videos about it? Probably because I have like a corporate day job and a family, so hoping that I don't get like fired or disowned, I'll be doing more of these. So feel free to ask me your sex questions. But today, let's talk about 5 things guys want in bed. Number 1, I would say, is initiative. A guy wants you to take initiative because the worst thing you can be in bed is like a dead fish, right?
Yeah, very true.
Just like laying there like, because first of all, then the guy's doing all the work and like it's not like a joint experience and you lack initiative and then you lack enthusiasm, but we'll get to that. So what does initiative mean? Like take charge. You can make the moves. I know I always say don't chase, and you shouldn't. Like you shouldn't be making the moves to get the guy into bed, right?
No. Yeah.
You should not be like seducing him. But once you're in bed, like, yeah, you flip him around, like, well, maybe not flip him. Sounds like you're gonna peg him. Don't do that. But like, you can change up the positions. You can suggest things. You can just kind of take charge. Tell me, elaborate. Max is
yeah, don't necessarily like stay, like, don't necessarily wait to be coached. I mean, sometimes guys like that for sure. But I know, at least for me, like, I just like to get into it and then kind of have a girl take charge at certain times and kind of go back and forth naturally.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, I've gotten a lot of questions like, do boys like a girl who's dominant or submissive? And the answer is like both. And I think like it's good to be both of those things all inside the same hookup. Like if I'm dominant, I'm not dominant the entire time we're hooking up. If I'm submissive, I'm not submissive the entire time. Like it kind of has to go back and forth. And that's when it's really fun and really sexy. And it's like you're switching roles and like 1 minute like he's on top of you, he's got his hands in your hair, and the next like, ooh, you flipped him over and like on his back. And now like you've got doing a little choking, and I'll do a whole video on choking because there's like a lot to say and it can be really fun and it can be just a nightmare. So we'll get into that. So yeah, take some initiative. But part of taking initiative leads me to my number 2, communication. You can't know what someone likes unless you ask. And I feel like all we think about and all we talk about, like I said, is sex. And then it's like when we're actually doing it, we're like, no one wants to say anything. And I always have been taught that like guys are just kind of waiting to hear what you want. Whether like move your hand to the left and faster, harder, slower, whatever. And don't be afraid to speak up about what it is you want in bed. Thoughts?
Yeah, absolutely. And especially don't be afraid to speak up of what you don't like in bed.
Right. That's a really good point because I think girls like, we don't know how to say I don't like something. Like we don't want to hurt a guy's feelings. We also don't want him to feel rejected because that can really put a damper on the hookup, and he can also get really mad and then he can kill us. That's something we worry about. You guys don't want to be laughed at. We don't want to be murdered. So how do you tell a guy like, don't really like that? What I like to do is I like to offer positive praise, like, oh yeah, do more of that, do more of that, versus being like, I don't like where your hand is, you know, because that's gonna be jarring and like, it's gonna sting. What do you like to hear in terms of correction?
Like just encouragement on the things that the guy's doing right. And then, you know, a guy will kind of pick up if you don't like something, and especially if you're saying, I really like this. Then, you know, anytime he does something that you don't like, your response is not that, you know?
Yeah, well, what should your response be? Just like, kind of like silence to train him out of it?
No, like, I mean, if it's a hand thing, then kind of, you know, switch up the position or take a little initiative to change that.
So like I could like take a hand and be like, actually, you know, do it like this.
Try this. I mean, it's start with the positive, like you did, you know, the sandwich. You know, you open up with something really positive, then you give them the bad news, and then you close it again with something positive.
That's the sandwich. Positive, negative, positive. Smushed in like an Oreo. The filling is the negative. Okay? Even though the filling is the best part of an Oreo, but whatever. Don't at me about it. It is. So yeah, you don't like something, but this, girls, is where your own personal solo time for sex comes in, because you have to know how to work your own equipment if you want someone else to be able to work it too. Boys grow up thinking it's totally fine to jerk off. They talk about it, they do it all the time, they watch porn, jerk off, jerk off, jerk off. That's all they do. Girls, oh my God. Obviously, this is like not something we talk about. It's not something we're supposed to do. Nice girls don't do that. Who has a vibrator? But like, where is that getting any of us? Why should we not be in control of our own bodies? There's nothing gross about our body. And the more you learn to use your body, the more you realize it's not gross, it's actually amazing, right?
Absolutely.
And you don't want to hook up with someone who's like, oh, this is my dirty no-no parts. Like, because then I've hooked up with girls, and I've hooked up with girls who are like that, like, my cellulite, my this, my that, which is segueing into my next point, confidence. Because if you aren't confident in bed, then the hookup is not this like mutual thing. It becomes him pacifying you about your body. And then that takes him out of the moment. It takes you certainly out of the moment because you're like in a spiral about your thighs or your boobs or your stretch marks or whatever it is that he probably didn't notice. And even if he did, I don't think he cares. Do you care?
No, absolutely not. And quite honestly, like it's one of the worst things you can do is to focus on that. Like if you just focus on the moment, he's already in bed. He's trying to sleep with you right now. So you won. You're there.
Won.
So go for it.
Yep.
He obviously thinks you're hot.
Yeah, hot enough. Yeah.
You know?
Like no one focuses on your flaws except for you. Like I always say, you wouldn't care so much what people thought of you if you knew how seldom they did. And this is like a motto to extend into bed. You wouldn't care about your flaws so much if you knew how seldom other people thought about them, you know? So when you go into it like, oh, don't look at me, don't touch me there, like you're shooting yourself in the foot. You're really gonna ruin the chemistry of this hookup. So like I always say with confidence, you fake it till you make it. I am not confident. Look do you remember what I wore last night? I basically wore a bodysuit with a see-through dress over it. I looked like such a hoe. I looked like Rihanna on bath salts. And I was like, oh, I don't know if I should wear it. And then we walked in and I was just like, fake as fuck. I was not confident. I was not sure that I should be wearing this outfit, like a very conservative event. It wasn't conservative. I mean, we're at a resort, so it's not that conservative, but it's like old people and you know how they are. But I just faked it. And then girls started telling me that it looked really good. And I was like, thanks, boo. Like you just have to pretend. And then your body and your mind meld into one. And because when you're not confident about something, you're in this kind of like emotional stress state and your mind is desperately looking for a way out. So if you can pretend and give it this like fake out, your mind will latch onto that and it will make it true. But I have a whole playlist on confidence, which you guys can check out. It's gonna be very helpful. Also, eye contact, right? We debated this a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay, I think eye contact is important when you hook up, depending on the kind of hookup. If this is a one-night stand, if this is a casual hookup, if this is a friends with benefit, no. Eye contact is for when you like someone and, crucial, they like you back. This has to be like a mutual thing. And I don't mean like psychotic, staring, never breaking eye contact, Unabomber gaze. Like it's to be used almost as spices are used in cooking, sparingly. A little can go a very long way. If a guy's taking a long time to finish, especially with a blowjob, looking up, like pausing and looking up and making a little like sexy eye contact, trigger, done. Also when you're, I'm like not giving you a chance to say anything, sorry about it. So in life as on YouTube. And then when you're hooking up, like when someone's on top of you, like it's nice to be able to like pause and like connect with them, right? What do you?
Yeah, no, like absolutely. Like I think
that's
one of the best.
Wrong.
Well, I mean, kind of based on what I'm saying, you're absolutely right about
Okay.
that. Like as you're saying, don't stare like crazy. And if it's someone that you're just having a one-night stand with, absolutely not, because it's such an intimate thing.
And it's going to bond you with that person. You don't want to get bonded to someone you're not supposed to bond with. I have a whole video on this, how to hook up and not get attached.
So I think that like in bed, especially if it's like a boyfriend that you've been dating for like,
Right.
a couple of months even, like, or even a month, like that's where you can start,
Opening your eyes when you have sex with them.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, how romantic. You don't just sit there like eyes closed, pretending it's not happening. Another thing boys like is dirty talk, right? You added this to the list.
Yes, I did.
Dirty talk, girls, I know, this is like the Mount Everest of sexual stuff because I remember for me, and I'm sure every single one of you has an experience like this. I tried dirty talk with my like college boyfriend for like the first time and he laughed at me. And it wasn't even like crazy. It was like, ooh, yeah, like, ooh, come on, give it to me. It was so whatever-ish and he laughed at me and I was so angry. I went in the bathroom and cried. I was so humiliated and so like vulnerable and called out that I'm like, I don't think I tried it again for like 10 years. And I'm still so annoyed about it. So dirty talk is something that is vulnerable. It's hard to open up, but it goes under the heading of communication and enthusiasm and like initiative. It's all of those things melded into one. It's the easiest way to encapsulate all of that. So for me, I use dirty talk as almost like Mad Libs. I want your blank on my blank. Put your blank near my blank. Touch me with your blank. I don't ever say the word pussy. I never say pussy. I never do. I hate it. I don't really even say like, or just, I don't, you know? There are so many other things you can do and sexy things you can say that aren't even like vulgar. Like I say with like sending nudes, Maxim, not Playboy. And for me, I'm a writer. Words are kind of my thing. So I enjoy the challenge of being able to get a guy like all riled up saying things that aren't like insane slutty porn things, right? I mean, what do you think?
Well, I think it works well because if a guy's not used to that and you're doing a really good job at like dirty talk in a different way where you're, you know, without saying all these vulgar things, I mean, it helps to throw a couple in there, especially in the beginning because it's easy. I think that describing even what's happening or what he's doing to you or what you're going to do to him, that's like easier and it comes out more natural.
Right.
Don't force it for sure.
Don't force it.
You know, like,
don't force it. Don't feel like you have to.
Yeah.
Like it's cool if it feels authentic to you. But like if you're going to spew something out and then laugh, kind of ruins the magic. So it's better just like not say anything, you know, but just make noise. Right?
Yes, noise goes along.
Noise. Not like this over-the-top histrionic thing, but I'm getting ahead of myself. I'll get there in a second. Back to dirty talk. Here's some go-to phrases I like that are not too wild. Ooh, you're so hard. Guys love to hear that they're really hard. I have no idea why. Whatever. Alternately, you make me so wet. Right?
Yeah.
You guys like to hear that. I want you inside me. I need you inside me. Variations there. Give it to me. Ooh, I want to feel you come. Dudes love to be called daddy. Weird. But they do. They do. It's like a dominance thing or something? I don't know. What is it?
Yeah, I think it could be a dominance thing.
Boys
or
are so
status thing. Who knows?
Boys are so weird. Yeah, and just general enthusiasm words. So back to sound. How much noise should you make in bed? If you watch porn, it has given us such a weird, warped sense of how much noise you should make. In my live streams before, I have said that I think the perfect amount of noise actually does come from this one porn that I've watched. It's with James Dean and Emma Stone. It's called Ocean's Edge. But I think she's really good in bed. Like, she makes, to me, like the perfect amount of noise. Have I showed it? You were there on that live stream. You probably don't remember it. Anyway. That's fine. It was a long time ago. It was like 5 months ago. So don't feel like you have to have a performance. That's the worst thing I think that's happened as a result of porn culture is like guys almost view hooking up as like a performance. Like, no, this isn't Cirque du fucking Soleil. Like, I'm not pulling out jazz hands and giving you the razzle dazzle. I'm already having sex with you or giving you a blowjob, giving you a hand job. Like, this is what it is. Like, there's no big spectacle. Is this not enough for you people? So don't feel like you have to like go crazy. Do what's authentic. Do what's authentic. No guy is gonna mind if you're moaning and making sounds, right? But I know that it's a vulnerable thing. It's like dirty talk. It's like you're opening yourself up, like literally, and sharing how you feel, and that can be frightening. But what do you think about noise?
I think it's definitely better to have noise than no noise. Definitely monitor it. Like, I agree on those points. As far as like even just circling with dirty talk, like if you really feel like saying something, like, you know, that thought crosses your mind in the moment, say exactly that. And it's you don't also have to overdo it with either or. Like, you know, just even a few times throwing in, you know, a moan and a scream and just the breathing and
breathing.
Yeah, you know, breathing in his ear, like that. That's nice. Like, yeah.
Oh, okay. Like how? Because you don't want to be like like dog panting in someone's ear. I actually want to do a whole video on how to like turn a guy on by licking his ear, because there's an art to it.
Yeah, actually there is. It's very surprising.
And it's like a fine line between cool and gross, between like sexy and a horrible wet willy. But I'll do one of those. So keep your tongues in your mouth in the meantime.
But yeah, so like as far as like the breathing goes, I mean, you don't have to like, you know, don't huff, you know, but just like if he's down close to you, on top of you, or you're leaning over him, you know, just your regular breathing, maybe a slight little extra push through, you know, will do the job, and you know, just enough, like get really, really close, just so you can hear it a little bit.
He knows what he's talking about. I feel like you've been around the block a few times, Maxie. So, just to recap, we've got enthusiasm, initiative, confidence, dirty talk, eye contact, and confidence again. A little bit of breathing, a little bit of noise, a little bit of sexiness thrown in there. I know that like this is just the tip of the iceberg on what boys want in bed, and I could talk about this forever. So definitely drop me a line. There's going to be a link right here in the description of where you can actually start to ask me questions, and I am guaranteed to reply now. It's a wonderful new platform that I'm using. So I'll get into more of that later, but follow, click like, and subscribe. Follow me on Insta, Twitter, and Snap at ShallonXO, and check back every Friday for new videos. And thanks, Max. Isn't he a good boy? See, it wasn't that bad.